Hello, hello, beautiful beings. Everybody getting ready? Yes, can you hear me? Yes, can you see me? Wonderful. Let me know, please, are you here from Conscious Breath, Conscious Life? Drop a 1 if you are, just to let me know where you're coming from. And let me know where are you from. Are you from Toronto, from outside of Canada? Drop in the chat where you're from. All right, so we're here for an hour and a half for a very exciting meeting. How to be completely present, how to enter yourself fully and completely into your next level, into the next step of your life, how to be present in everything, and most of all, how to be conscious for everything that you do in your life. All right. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. How did I come into this work and why is it so important to me? So I'm a transformational coach and Clarity Breathwork facilitator. And I've been on this planet for quite a while. I'm only 2 years shy from my 60s. And I lived life. I lived in 3 different countries. By the age of 20, I've been to more grades than schools. My life went through all kinds of direction. It was great at some points and it wasn't in others. But since I have quite an engineering mind, I wanted to know what makes things work and what doesn't make things work. And since I've been here for quite a while, I had life that went just great and then it wasn't. And I wanted to know what creates life and its greatness and when it's not so great. What really makes things happen? Is it happening by chance? Is it happening by choice? How things really happening to us? And I went on this exploration of lots and lots of spiritual journey and lots of life experiences when I met amazing teachers on my path. One of my greatest teachers was Rudolf Steiner. Those of you who are familiar with anthroposophical studies, it's basically the study of the man and how do you live life, how to make your choices. And we all have lived life. You are here, you're in the body, you're having a life. In order to create a future or know where you're going, you need to know where you've been, where you are, and only then you can figure out where are you going. So if you look at your life, we already came from somewhere. We came from our creators, our mother and our father, and we have lived lives. And the biography of your life, all the events in your life created you. Everything that you have already experienced, it's a result of who you are today. So every experience creates the next chapter, the next chapter, the next chapter. In order, like I said, to create a future, we need to know where have I been, where I am, and where I'm going, like I mentioned before. So when we look at those 3 timelines, where have I been? It's a place of evolving, transforming. Some people getting stuck in the past. And I'll tell you what does it mean. It means when life events that have happened before are unresolved and they're still chewing you and chewing up on your energy. And it's taking a lot of energy. It's taking a lot out of you because you're in your past. Let's talk about the present. In the present, you can also be stuck. In the present, if you are here, then you are on your spiritual path and your spiritual transformation. In the present, it's been being in the present moment. And a lot of the people, when we get into the present moment in your meditation, in your consciousness, calming down the mind, being in the present moment, right? It can create a place when you are constantly in the meditation and you're not living your life. You're not enjoying your life. You're constantly just chasing the present moment, how to be aligned, how to be here, how not to be overwhelmed by your past, and how not to race into your future. You see, so that's also consume lots of energy. Now you can also be stuck in your future. In your future, it's when you're constantly manifesting, when you're constantly creating, when you constantly have your mantras. I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm great, amazing, life is great, I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be doing that. And you're creating this abundant future. You live in the future. But if the past is not resolved, as I say always, your past will chase you and bite you in your ass. That's how it works. So you can see all 3 timelines are connected: your past, your present, and your future. Because we're in this beautiful time right now, all the transformational teachers are coming out, we're loaded with information. And I've seen a lot that the concentration, it's only on one. So when we are stuck in our past, we can dwell on our past and the events that happened to us, sitting and always dissect the past. You don't transform it, you don't collect the lesson, you don't move on from that. That's being stuck in the past. Being stuck in the present, and when you're constantly sitting in your meditation, concentrating on your breath, spending hours and hours being in the present moment, and you're forgetting to live your life. And there's great saints that are actually sitting still on meditation 500 years later, when the body completely dissolved. I don't know if any of you have heard of those mummies that have been found in the cages, still waiting for the soul to come back, right? This is when you're sitting constantly in the present moment, you're avoiding your life, right? And the future, like I mentioned, there's lots of manifestation coaches, right? And manifestation coaches are concentrating only on your future. And you lack manifestation because you're running away from your past. You're not in the present moment and you're constantly in the future. So you can see how that can also affect you. It's being in all three all the time. And that is something that is not still being brought to our attention. You cannot be, if you are a constant seeker, you're constantly seeking, you're forgetting living, right? And you can see how often we're just, maybe another course, maybe another meditation, maybe another this, maybe another that. You're chasing the happiness instead of being in a happiness, being present to everything that happened in here and creating life as it comes, learning from your past, learning from who you are, learning and figuring out where you're going, right? So let's see what's happening and where did we pick up different habits that we are still keeping us from where we need to go. You balance three in healthy way. Yeah, we'll talk about it. How? Thank you. That's a great question. How do we balance all three in a healthy way? So let's see what's not balancing it and where did we pick up those habits. And I'm going to talk about how you are born and how you're entering this world and different stages that we as humans picked up. And we're still digesting them and creating them over and over again. And there are different stages when you are born, right? And when you are born into your mother and to your father, there is a sense of helplessness. And the sense of helplessness is in the age of 0 to 1 till 2, when you depended on your parents, you depended on your food, you depended on being your pampers being changed. Your survival depend on something or someone taking care of you. So there is a sense of dependency for something to come and take care of you. And this is beside the messages that we receive from our parents. This is the first already download as you entered into the world. You already learned how to depend and something or someone will come and take care of you, right? And this is the stage of an infant. Now, if you take the stage in your life, right? And how often do you take and you mimic it when you feel helpless and you feel that something or someone will come and rescue you, right? You're waiting for the rescue. This is not an adult behavior. It's a behavior of a child. It's a behavior of an infant. It's a behavior of a newborn that depends on something or someone coming and rescue me. And you probably have friends, or maybe you caught yourself being in a place when you're just feeling completely helpless. You don't know what to do. Maybe something or someone will come and rescue me. And that's where we pick it up from that first few years as we're born. Then we're going into our next stage. And the next stage, if you know, as we're growing and evolving, there's this horrible tool. And I have a granddaughter. She's in her 2s, and you learn to say no. All of a sudden, the child learns to say no. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do that. And the identity is starting to develop. Now, it's a very magic moment here. If that will be embraced and your no's are heard, or your no's going to be shut down. I was raised in a communist country. I was born in Ukraine, former Russia, and no is not unheard. You need to be like everybody else. And if you're going to have too many no's, it can be dangerous. So the child is raised to shut his nose and just to fit in. And this is where it's coming from. And we're still doing it as adults, as we're growing up. We're still kind of afraid to say our no's. We're afraid to speak up. We don't know if our no going to be heard, if it's going to be supported. And that's where we pick it up in that time and the time of our life, when still in our truths. And then twos and threes, right? And then the next stage comes in when we are around our 5, right? And in 5, like after the horrible 2, like between 5 and 10, 10, 11, it's a pleasant time for the parents to be with the child. It's easily communicating. You can negotiate with that. You can talk to it. And this is the pleasing time. This is when you're taught to be good. And again, being good is more important than being heard. And very often it goes into the share your toys, because you're going to have no friends. It is not nice to do this. It is not nice to do that. And that's when we're learning to be good and pleasing, right? So again, there's a sabotage from your goals. I'm telling you all of that so you kind of can pick up the clues where you're sabotaging. And most likely in all stages, in all different times and realms of your life. It can be in your relationship, it can be in your health, it can be in your career, it can be in all three, right? So when we are in our pleasing stage, right, it's very often when you are maybe family member asking something, you want to say no, or a friend asking something, you have a clear no, but you're not going to express yourself because it's important to be nice, right? So when you are not nice to yourself and you're nice to others, it's another depletion. It's another time where you're kind of leaking out, you're putting someone else ahead of you, right? So that's where again, there is a misconception. This is another stage where we are leaking. Then guess what? What's the next stage? We're teenagers, right? So you can see every group has something that is still here, resonates with us. It's beside the information that we collected from our parents. It's beside good girl, bad boy. It's beside all that. This is just how we learn, all of us, in the stages of this society, the way it's been built, right? And then teenagers, what do? We rebel. And no wonder, of course, you can see what's happening here. Don't tell me what to do. I'm the boss of me. I know how things should be done, right? And that's when we kind of disregard everything. We don't want to listen to what's right or what's wrong. We are upset with the world, right? And it happens. We're upset with our government. You can be upset with your friends. So when you say kind of F you to life, I don't care anymore. That's what I'm going to do. And this is a rebellion teenager. It's still not the adult. And you can see these behaviors that are always, they can be everywhere. It can be in your health. I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. It can be in your relationship. I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. In your finances. I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. Everywhere it shows up again and again and again. And I trust that if you're here, most likely it is here. It is here somewhere. We can all resonate, right? We can resonate how we were brought up into this world. So we have the helpless. We have the no, when we are about 2, 3. We have the pleaser. We have the rebellion one, right? And then there's the next stage when it's kind of closer to our adulthood. When we are 18, 20, sometimes 16, it's like, I'm going to explore the world. I'm on my own, right? And that's when you kind of, I can do anything and everything, right? And that's the time when you're kind of taking a lot on your shoulders. You don't ask for help. You know you're unstoppable. You can do anything, which is great. But sometimes you take too much and you forget that, yes, you can get help. Yes, you can delegate. Yes, you can do other things. It's when you take on the world on your shoulders. You literally take the world on your shoulders. And this is another stage that we've been giving to us as part of being human, part of being here. This is just what it is, right? So you can see all of the stages that can be traps for us. Does anybody has any questions so far? Okay, So you can see if we have all of those, the past, the present, and the future can be navigated when you balance all of those stages in your life. When you take responsibility for everything that had happened. So let's see how man likes to create, right? And man creation is a bit different than other species, right? So you can see the way the world been made. So far, I've told you how you are made and the programs that you kind of downloaded and came with you with being human. The difference between all those, I just want to mention one more thing, all of the stages that I spoke and being an adult, right? Between being a child and being an adult, it's taking accountability, taking responsibility, knowing when I need help, and knowing how to change it and transform it. This is the difference between the child and adult. A child can be helpless, child can be rebellion, child can say F you, child can go just, I don't care, I'm doing it anyway. This is a childhood behavior. An adult stays still, evaluates where he's been, where he is, where he's going, and what needs to be done. You collect the lessons of the past. You express your gratitude into the present, and only then you can plan your future. So you can see how all of them created. One has to do with the other. Unfortunately, because there's so much information out there, everything just being dumped on everybody, and you don't know where to go because everything sounds true, but at the same, there's no connection between all of them. So here I am, I just want to connect all of the stages so you know where it's going and you know how it works. Okay. So let's see about creation and how man creates, right? And we have different stages of evolution where we still have, when we have our mineral, we have our plant, we have animal, and then we have the man, human. And there's difference between all of them. There's difference between, it starts from the element, right? And you can see element, it's kind of steel, right? It's all the elements that we have here on Earth. And then when movement comes into that, it moves into a plant. A plant moves into an animal, right? An animal is something, if you look the difference between animal and human and creation, how animal lives and how human lives, human has lots of tools. Human is someone who can use tools and using them all the time. Animals don't have tools. They instinct with nature. Even if you take the most ancient tribes, if they have a stick, they're already creating something with that. Whether they're going to hunt for it or they're going to do something with their food, like smash their grain or whatever. It's tool operated. Man likes its tool, period. And it's using tools for everything. We use tools for eating, we use tools for work, we use tools for everything, moving us from place to place. It's a tool, right? Even dressing up, no animal dresses up, only humans, like keeping ourselves warm. So we always need something to be somewhere, right? And it's being created all the time. If you look at spirituality, even in spirituality, we need tools. We needed the Bible, or we needed the meditation, we need the affirmation. And there's always tool oriented. I need something to be somewhere. Always, I need something to be somewhere. So the tools that we're using for our affirmation, for our creation, hi Nancy, great to see you. So when you're using your tools to get you to the next step in your life, right? It can be on many, many levels. The tools of meditation, right? And we know that we need the tool of meditation to keep our mind quiet. The tool of affirmation, it's create a future. The tool of our Bibles, the Bible and meditation and affirmation, they're all been created for the mind. right? And if we look at our ancient beings, Jesus and Buddha, right, who came with those great tools and creation, it's always for the human to find some peace within himself, right? So you can see how the human evolution, the human itself, is an extreme disturbance. And we can see it in our earth. It proves itself again and again, how the human evolution is in disturbance. We're disturbed from one thing to another. Something happens and the whole body goes into shock. The mind goes into shock. So mindfulness being taught to us a lot right now, because we're realizing finally that if the mind is well behaved, if the mind is well controlled, then everything else is aligned, right? So now we're in a place when we finally can see that a lot of our creation is created by our mind, right? So you can see also how it's been downloaded from the previous experience, whether you, as I went before, through different stages of childhood, when you are helpless, and then when you feel you're helpless, it's a mind activity. The mind makes you feel that it's been helpless. Why? It picked up from birth. When you say no and your no's are not being heard from birth. Nice and kind to others. Be a good boy, be a good girl. It's part of your childhood evolution. Teenager, it's been trained. The mind been trained to behave that way from the moment you are born. It already has a program, right? So conscious creation cannot be happening while you're still stuck in this childhood behavior. An adult, again, it's someone who takes a moment, who takes notes where I was, where I am, and where am I going? Am I behaving here as a child, or am I behaving here as an adult? An adult will make conscious decisions, who he is, where he is, and where he's going. That's the difference between conscious creation and being a child, right? So even right now, when you're thinking about how to be an adult, make conscious decisions that are happening and they're transforming your life consciously. It's not by chance, it's by choice all the time. If you look at your previous experiences in your life, past events that have happened to you, nothing happened to you by chance. Nothing ever. If you're in a relationship, there's a simple rule in a relationship. Nobody loves me less or more than I love myself. That's it. That's your own creation. As an adult, you will take responsibility for everything that is happening in your relationship. You evolve and transform with yourself. If you want your relationship to transform to your partner, it's just a reflection of what's happening inside of you. And all the advice that you want to give to your partner, turn it around and take it yourself and act on it. That's an adult behavior. If it's finances, it's just lack of receiving. It's just lack of receiving. Universe cannot give you if constantly you are, no, thank you, no, thank you. And life probably offering you. And this is kind of this teenager, later stage of teenager, I'm going to take the world on myself and I can do anything and everything. And whenever help is offered, no, thank you. And very often I give my clients homework for a week or more. Anytime when anything offered to you, instead of no, thank you, say yes, please. Right? And there's lots of impacts here, right? Lots of sensitive people, energy sensitive people here. And what it means that you prefer to give than receive, right? And if you see, there is this vulnerability in receiving. In receiving, there is this almost intimacy, right? Because when you give, you control how much you can give, how much you want to give, and how much you don't want. You in control of the giving. In the receiving, it's opening yourself up to receive. So if you want to be conscious creator, please open your doors to receiving. Life is offering all the time. If you say yes to universe, I'm open to receive. Opportunity is going to start coming in. That's being responsible adult, knowing how to receive. When you are on the giving place, you are the 5-year-old. I need to be a good boy, a good girl. I'm going to give you my toys, even if I don't want to share because I want to be good for you. You see what I'm saying? Those are the catches. Those are the hooks in stopping us from creating conscious creation. Okay. Let's talk about health. And someone like myself who went through several health crises. And when health comes and knocks on your door, it's when you cannot say no. The body now tells you, you know what? I'm saying your no's for you. Right? And if you look at any health situation, and if you're going to look back when it was being created, even if it's been chasing you for many, many years, you can see that there was a significant life event that have changed it and shifted. And that's when health kind of start talking to you. You know, I know you cannot take it anymore, so let's create that. And maybe now you can practice your nose. Right? How many of you can relate to that? Drop a yes in the chat. Yes, Ingrid, I hear you. So you can see how we are sabotaging. Yes, Nancy, we are our own sabotager. Nobody's sabotaging it for us. We are sabotaging ourselves from creating an amazing life. Thank you, Rob. We are doing it, no one else. No one else doing it to you. And as I say to my clients, I'm the master of my own disaster. If I can create hell, I can create heaven. So you can see I'm the master of my own disaster. And if you're acting as a child and all of the stages, being helpless, being rebellion, not asking for help, being the good one, creation cannot happen. Creation that just will not happen. And that's what I learned on my path, on my very long path of transformation of over 30 years. And I wanted to know how things work. Why is it working and why it doesn't work? And when I dove into spiritual realms, it was so much information where your brain can just explode. How much longer do you need to meditate before you're happy? How much longer do you need to pray before you're happy? How much longer do you need to run away from your past? How much longer, right? And this whole new age information, it's so heavy in information that you can be just a constant seeker, where you just forget to enjoy your life. You came here to live in this body on this earth and this time, here, now. So you already lived a good chunk of your life. If you're over 20, that's enough to look back and kind of learn, who am I? Who am I? Where am I still behaving as this child? As this helpless child, as the rebellion teenager, as the good little girl or the little boy. And where am I? Can I stand in my full power, take responsibility, take accountability, and truly transform and create a life that I'm really deserving as an adult? As an adult. So because of this 30 years, and you can see that I really dove in, digested it to understand it so I can bring it out. One thing that I do with my clients one-on-one, I take them through 10-week process of very intense transformation. I don't want people to sit with me for months and years and digesting the same material again and again and again. It's a 10-week process when you basically laundry your life, understand it, understand where you are, where you were, and where you're heading. And transforming everything that stands in the way because you're totally worthy and deserving. We all came here for one reason. We came here to be happy. That's it. And I'm going to talk to you empaths and spiritual beings and maybe teachers and masters who's here on the call. And I'm going to touch on several subjects. And one very important subject where I see it's a big trap, it's unconditional love. Right? So we are transforming. There's this huge word coming in, and it stands unconditional love. Yeah, and it sounds so good. and all of the impulse are running. Yeah, I can love anything. I can do anything. And you're basically opening yourself up and you become, as they call it, cosmic janitor. I love you unconditionally, no matter what. Right? So unconditional love can be mastered truly and honestly once you master it with yourself. When you truly and honestly love yourself for who you are, not only yourself, for every experience that you had in your life, you can be truly loving and grateful. When you truly can be loving and grateful to all the people who were present in your events in your life, good or bad, because it took you to the next stage. That's unconditional love. Unconditional love, it's also boundaries. It's knowing when to say yes and knowing when to say no. It's not when somebody is rebelling and misbehaviors, you're sitting there and showering them with love and completely depleting yourself. And please pay attention, all of you empaths, with unconditional love. And when I said all of us came here to be happy, and you just want to jump in and save everybody and make them happy, there are people who don't want to be saved. And they're happy in their misery. And that's okay too. That's okay too. They have the right. Everybody have the right and the choice to do whatever they want and wish with their life. And if somebody wish to explore their misery, that's their choice. Please respect that. That's unconditional love. It's not draining yourself by trying to save someone. How many of you been there? How many of you been trying to save those who don't want to be saved? Yeah. Yes, Ingrid. Definitely. Yes, Nancy. Hear you. Yeah. That's a trap. That's a big trap. All the time, Rob. I hope today is the end of it. Right? Saving the world. The world is perfect. The world is perfect. Let's talk about the next trap. And this is a big one for all of you too. And this is the guilt of being happy. How can I be happy when the rest of the world is not? Yes? How many of you have experienced that? How can I live this abundant life when the kids in Africa are starving? If you were meant to starve, you would be living in Africa. Period. If it's meant for you to make the change and go to Africa, then go and do it. If it's your calling. But suffering and depleting yourself from abundance because somebody across the street is suffering, it's not helping them. Yes, kids in Canada starving too. Yes, if you starve yourself, it's not going to help kids in Canada. If you feel called to be the change and help out, then that's maybe your calling. Right? Being different and being happy when the rest of the world is not is the best thing that you can do for the world. It's when you allow yourself to be happy and shifting the vibration and showing people how. Showing people how. If you take Jesus and Buddha, our great, most famous teachers, they chose something else. Definitely, they chose something else. And they dare to be happy when the rest of the world is not. Of course, Jesus paid for it greatly. He was crucified for his happiness and for his teaching. And what came out of it next, right? He became such a huge teacher around the world. And as we're talking about Jesus and Buddha, I want to touch another place where we lose our energy. We talked about relationship, we talked about health, we talked about finances. And I'm going to just summarize that relationship is a shortcut. Please, it's the only shortcut that's working. Nobody loves me less or more than I love myself. And stop looking for people who can love you because you cannot love yourself. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Never worked before. Okay? in your finances, if you want to have more abundant life, allow yourself to receive. Practice, yes, please, instead of no thank you. Really make it your mantra. Whenever anything offered to you, receive it. And in your health, or just your body saying no because you couldn't. Right? So learn your no's. All right? Now we're going to move, since we touched, I'm going back to Jesus and Buddha. Don't see happy or taking care of themselves. Okay, so here's a question. How to overcome when your child or children don't seem to be happy or taking care of themselves? Who is not taking care of themselves? Your child or your children. If they're beyond age 18, do you have any control over that? You can join the misery, stop yourself from living because the children chose not to take care of themselves. You can definitely do that. Or you can be the example. And this is a trap when you have a family member or a friend who choosing, like I mentioned before, there's people who enjoy their misery, even if it's friends and family, and they need to marinate in it till it's enough. And the more you bug them, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, the more you're destroying your relationship. That's it. And it's going back again, how to give yourself permission to be happy if the rest of the world is not. Okay? Practicing self-love, selfishness, self-love. That's the best thing that you can show to your children is how to take care of yourself through example. And as a mother, I'm a mother of 3 grown-up adult children. It's hard, yes. And one of my kids also chose not to take care of himself. But when I stepped away and let him just do what he needed to do, enjoy his misery as long as he wanted to, but respecting that that's his choice. I'm not his therapist. And letting him know that he's an adult and I love him no matter what he chooses. Nothing stops you from loving your children, whether they're at their best or in their worst. Your role as a mother for adult children is to love them no matter what, not to heal them, not to change them, not to transform them. You already done it as soon as they can become adult. Right? So being addicted to the role of the mother, even though that your children are adult. If your children are still young and they're under the age 18 and you have some kind of influence, it's of course getting the help that they need. After that, it's their choice. Let's come back to spirituality, to Buddha and Jesus and all the great books. I'm also going to touch base on fairies and angels and all the greatness, right? And at some point, as you can see, when we're talking about God, we're talking about what? What do we know about God? God is what? Drop in the chat. How do you describe God? What is he? Who is this Almighty? God is love. God is forgiving. What do we know about God? God is love to me. Yeah. God is creator. We have all of those images of God, right? So something happened to us as humans because we like our tools, right? Universal energy. Thank you, Michael. So you can see that we started to describe what is God and what is guiding energy. And when we're describing it, the more we describe it and the more we're trying to understand it, the more we pull away from it. Because now God is in the books, in the rules. Whether you're a shaman, you're using all kinds of tricks and picks, whether you are a priest and you're going through the book, whether you are yoga teacher or yogic and you are in your meditation, you're using something to be somewhere. Right? What we forget that God made man in its own image. And we keep chasing it everywhere, in our meditation, in our affirmation, in the Bible, in the fairies, in everywhere. Simple. God made man in its own image. We forget it. We think that is infinite, amazing, beautiful being that is full of love, creation, and everything. It's something that we need to pray to, meditate, affirm. It's in you. It's there. It's right there. God made man in his own image. All the love, all the creation, everything that you're seeking, it's already installed in you. You are a powerful creator. Like I said before, you create your own hell, you can create your own heaven because you are a powerful creator. God made man in his own image. It's not out there. This hugeness, this expansiveness, this imagining wonderful things that can create miracles, it's in here. And when do we meet those Gothic humans in our life, right? And I'm sure you have some Gothic humans in your life, things just happening and everything just rolling and there's this vibrant energy. When do we meet those? What can we learn about them, those Gothic humans that are out there? It's somebody who's responsible for the past, the present, and the future. They're an adults who learn from their past, transform it into the present, and create future. And when you think about how to be an adult, fully evolved, grown-up adult, creator, God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, take responsibility for everything that happens to you. It's easy to be caught in any of the stages of the helpless child, because that's the first program that's been downloaded. You're born and you already depend on something, right? But you also have this beautiful program or this memory of the womb when everything was provided for you. Everything was provided for you when you are in the womb. The food, the comfort, everything is there. And that's how you evolve and transformed and became this ready to get out in that bubble of the womb where everything is already there. And you know what? It's still here. Everything that you need is already here. Find the God in you. Understand why you're creating what you're creating. Learn from every lesson and create the future that you want by learning from the past in the present moment and transforming your future. You're your own creator. That's it. No one else is going to create amazing year for you but you. Not your children, not their suffering, not their misery, not your boss, not your partner. Nobody. There's no one out there, just you. That's it. No one out there. You can sit, hope, pray, whatever. You can do that. That's going to take another decade. If you have the time, by all means, be my guest. I don't. Am I making sense so far? Drop a yes. And if you have a question, please drop your questions. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Zitka. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. And it can be scary when you realize, oh gosh, it's me. Yes, it's you. That's it. No one else. It's you. Don't wait for your boss to notice that you need a raise or to acknowledge you. Nobody will acknowledge you if you don't acknowledge yourself, right? Don't wait for your partner to start loving you because you forgot how to love yourself. Don't expect your body to heal if you don't know your nose. And there is one main ingredient to an adult who creating a conscious life. Yeah, if you don't ask that, no, it's no. It's right, Michael. Yeah. And one important ingredient to create a life that you want. Let's say you imagine that you know exactly what you want. You just create it. I know what I want. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you can drop in the chat if you have like a certain thing that you definitely know what you want to create, and then I'll help you to figure it out how to take it to the next step of creating it. And this ingredient, it's not in any of these childhood places where you are helpless, or where you're rebellion, or where you're the good child, or the good or the bad boy. There's an ingredient. Once you know what you want, and here's you, and that's what you want for yourself. So now you know what you want. This is the cake that you want. And what's the recipe to make it happen? What's the recipe? How do you create it? For instance, if you want an amazing body, that's mean it has to do with diet and it has to do with exercise. Right? So there's two ingredients. If you want good relationship, the recipe is to work on yourself, love yourself. If you want abundance, the recipe, learn to receive. If you want healthy body, the recipe is learn your nose and take care of yourself better. Right? But what actually making it happen? You know what it is that you want. You know what you need to do, so it will be created. How to actually to connect the two between knowing what needs to be done, it is being done. Right? There is a recipe here. What is the missing link? Anybody can drop in the chat. There's something that's missing here that only adult can do. Self-regulate. Good. Good. And I call it discipline. Yeah. Discipline. Gathering the ingredients to create it. Right. You might have the ingredients to create it. You might have the recipe, all of it, but you need to have the discipline to actually doing it. Right. And this is what's happening to us. When we have our goals and you decide that, for instance, how do I stop drinking? You stop drinking, period. That's it. How do I stop or do this, right? So there's all kinds of things when you routine and discipline, right? Thank you, Nancy. Right, so routine and discipline. Once we make an agreement with ourselves, this is what I want to create. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing it, right? And now it's the time to discipline. Now, trust me, and I'm willing to sign for that. Anytime when you make a decision to do something, your mind will come with all kinds of excuses not to. And you start your negotiation with the mind. See what I'm saying? Discipline means stopping all negotiation with the mind. Here, what helps to train the mind is meditation, prayer, affirmation. That's helping to train the mind. Yeah, the hamster wheel, definitely. Thank you, Zadika. Yeah. That's when the training of the mind starts. Now the Bible and all everything that we know, it will help us. It will help us to settle the mind. The mind can be settled once the past been resolved. If your past isn't resolved and you're not grateful for that and you have not collected your lessons, what did I say in the beginning? If you don't resolve the past, it will come and bite you in your ass. That's it. You can meditate forever. Anytime you stop, you don't have resolved past, it will come and bite you and get you back off to the same place again. You see how the two connected? The past and the present. Now, if you have done both, you're grateful for your past. Your mind is well trained. Now you're adding the discipline. That's your secret ingredient. The past, the present, and the future. That's all. If one of these ingredients is not aligned, is not taken care of, the whole pyramid structure just falls down. And you are the base of the pyramid. Imagine you are the base of the pyramid, and then you have your past, future, and your present, and it all makes you, right? And you are the base. To get to the top, you need all three of them aligned. So we're getting closer to our practice time, and we're going to do a bit of breath. I hope everybody have a sitting up place and a lying down place. We're going to be sitting up and lying down. We're going to be doing some seated breath and some lying down breath. But before we go into the breath, I want to talk to you about the surprise that I have here for you. And it's for everybody who's here and for everybody who are listening to the recording. And if you're going to be listening to the recording in the Facebook group, Conscious Life, Conscious Breath, or on YouTube, I will drop the links where to look for me. I mean, everybody who are here know to find me on Facebook group. And if you don't, drop your personal message for me in the chat with your email or some kind of contact so I can get in touch with you. And this is what I do. What I'm known for is that I am transforming people's life in a very short time, 10 sessions. It's not forever, but I'm doing it individually, one-on-one. 2024, it's when I'm going to be coming out more and doing more groups because I think this work is amazing. It creates miracles. And I'm just enjoying to watch how people transforming right in front of my eyes in a very short period of time. It's intense. You can see it's not BS. It's very intense. The consciousness shifting, life is shifting, miracles creating. And I don't believe in miracles. You're creating the situations, things happen. That's what's happening, right? So this year, I'm going to be offering a group conscious life navigation mastery classes. It's involved 10 classes, and I'm offering it to you, anybody who's here. If you're so far here, so probably I'm saying something that resonates, something that moves to you, and something that speaks to you. And if you want to truly to create where a shift happens, when things happening, and you can benefit from the support that I'm offering, then definitely reach out for me. You can drop your information in personal chat for me. You can just, if you go to the chat, press Renata, and then only I'll be seeing your message. Or on Facebook group, even better, find me under my first and last name. I'm going to dump it in the chart so you can find my name, Renata Amaev. You can Google my contact information. You can always find it. And get in touch with me. Get in touch with me. What's involved? What's involved here? We're going to be going through this intense transformation. We're going to be transforming the past, present, the future, getting some tools, creating this magnificent, amazing life, getting ourselves out of this child behavior that I mentioned, and being a conscious creator, because that's what life is about. Now, this is the best part. So it's an amazing offer. If you resonate with what I speak, drop a yes in the chat so I can see how many people are interested, so I know approximately. And find me and drop me a personal message, get in touch with me. I will spend 30 minutes with you on private interview Zoom call where I get to know you a little bit more. And we'll schedule the meeting and we'll move from there. Now, the time that if you're interested in a Zoom call, when you find me, it's either after 12 or after 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Nancy. We're going to move into the breath. And before we move into the breath, let's take a 2-minute break. If anybody has a question, to go to the washroom, if anybody needs to, get some water. Make sure that you have a place to lay down and a place to sit up. We're going to start first sitting up for a good 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to move into the breath, into lying down. All right. So how many of you needs a short break? Say yes in the chat. Okay. All right. See you soon. Right. Let me tell you a little bit about breath. How many of you are familiar with holotropic breath? Can you please say yes or no in the chat so I know what kind of background people have here? Holotropic breath, it's either yes or no, if you're back here. So on my spiritual path, on my transformational madness, you can call it either way, right? I got lots of tools. I'm a yoga teacher, transformational coach, biographical counselor. Oh, no. About 7 years ago, I was in Costa Rica in a place called Pachamama. Some of you know what it is. And I was introduced to holotropic breath. When I was introduced to holotropic breath, I was thinking, what possible they can teach me? I already have done so much. And holotropic breath was extremely powerful. It's more powerful than any medicinal plants for me personally. That's where I stayed, and I came back several times to learn about it more and become a holotropical teacher. And I added this tool into my toolbox, and that's where my teaching completely changed. And it became a whole much more potent. Holotropic breath was discovered a long time ago by Stanislav Grof. Stanislav Grof was a psychiatrist who was working with LSD, mostly with couples. Then LSD became illegal, and he was looking for tools how to get into this part of the subconscious mind to help people to evolve and change. That's where he came across the holotropic breath. Okay, holotropic breath is basically, it's a rhythm that gets your mind into more relaxed stage. Different people, different teachers has different techniques. I work with meditation first, and then we move into holotropic breath. Then I find it's much more faster and effective. That's just my approach, and that's what works for me. Right? Holotropic breath, if you're going to sit up, we're going to practice a bit of holotropic breath. So I invite you if you never experience it, just try it out with me. Watch me first and then try it out. For holotropic breath, you'll be lying down, but trying seated up first. Put your hand on your chest, eyes closed, mouth slightly open. And you breathe into your heart, and the breath goes like that. Try out with me. Into your heart, out of your mouth. 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 You'll be doing that lying down after we have done the meditation. And we'll be moving right after the meditation into lying down, into your holotropical breath. Okay? How many of you never meditated? Is there anyone here who never meditated at all? Any questions about the breath, holotropical breath? What was your experience when you tried it? Into your heart, out of your mouth. What did you feel? Did you feel some alignment? Were things just settling down, calming? Thank you, Nancy. Yeah. Felt connected. Yeah. This breath, never try it on your own. All right? It can take you places that you might not be ready. Okay? We're going to do the meditation first, and then we're going to move into holotropic breath. For meditation, I invite you all to sit up. We're going to have all our 5 fingertips touching together. Make like a pyramid. Okay? We're going to turn the pyramid upside down, and we're going to bring it down to hold your lower belly. So you have your triangle facing down. This is for grounding. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor, no shoes preferably. Back can be leaning against something, but preferably straight. And start breathing into your belly as your belly expanding and contracting. Your mouth is closed, you're relaxed, and allow the breath to come in. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And just allow yourself to be here and now. Here and now, it's in the space that you're sitting in. Here and now is the surface that supports you. The chair, the cushion, the floor, wherever you are, whatever supports you. And breathing into your lower belly, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Now bring your attention to the top of your head. Relax the top of your head. Relax your neck and your throat, your shoulders and your arms. Relax your chest and your belly. Relax your back, your spine, your hips, all the way down to your feet. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Be aware of your physical body. And just notice how your physical body feels as you're breathing in and breathing out. Be aware of your emotional body, of all the emotions that are here. Just let them be as you're breathing in and breathing out. Be aware of your mental body, of your mind, and all the thoughts that are here. Nothing to change, nothing to shift, just breathing in and breathing out. Now be aware of all three, physical, emotional, and mental. And just let them be. Now bring your attention to your tailbone and your crown. And really feel this energy between your tailbone and your crown. Now invite an image of a tree. See if you can step into it. And the space between your tailbone and your crown is the bark of the tree. It's the bark of the tree. From your tailbone, you have strong, strong roots that are planted into Mother Earth. And from your crown, you have branches that are racing and chasing and arriving into beautiful, beautiful skies, Father Sky. And you are grounded deep, 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 deep in the womb of Mother Earth. And extended up, up, up in the heart of Father Sky. You connected above and below. Above and below. You supported above and below. And the energy flows into you, into your bark, from above and below, from Mother Earth and Father Sky. Again, connect to your physical, emotional, mental body. And now connect time that is here right now. And I want you to get into your memory body and remember 2023 as you're looking back. And look at the significant events that happened in 2023. What was the lesson in 2023? What was the opportunities in 2023? What were the gifts of 2023? And look at every event that happened in 2023 without judging it bad or good. Look at the opportunity and the outcome of that. Maybe you had to learn how to say no and create good, healthy boundaries. Maybe 2023 taught you how to love yourself. Maybe 2023 taught you how to say yes and ask for help. Maybe 2023 taught you how to open your heart when it was shut and closed. Maybe 2023 taught you how to love yourself unconditionally. Maybe 2023 showed you what you never knew about yourself. Look at this 2023 as a gift that you already received. Even if there was something that didn't feel right, it only pushed you to the right direction. Whenever it doesn't feel right, doesn't feel good, physically, emotionally, or mentally, it's telling you, learn the lesson and move on. Learn the lesson and move on. For all those moments that didn't feel right in 2023, there were opportunities to shift you into the right direction. And say, thank you, 2023. Thank you, 2023. Thank you for the 365 days. Thank you. Thank you for the days and all the nights, for the sun that came up and sun that went down. Thank you. Thank you to all the people that made me who I am today now. And this is your now. And as you collect the lessons, the opportunities for 2023, move yourself forward into 2024. But move yourself 366 days, because it's a leap year, towards the end of the year. Imagine you're in the end of 2024. Everything that you want already happened. Everything that you want already happened. It's been given to you. It just happened. You already lived through that. That's the end results. That's the end result of 2024. You're standing there, you're remembering how it all started, and you go, wow. Is it really me? Yes, it is. And here you are standing just before 2025 is coming with same gratitude, with same gratefulness. And just look at yourself. Here you are, 2024, with everything that already have manifested. You took charge, you took action, you were disciplined, you stuck to it, you made it happen. Yes, you did. And now you're looking at yourself at 2023 as you are right now. And look at the one that have achieved everything and the one who's standing at the threshold. What advice the end of 2024 will give to the end of 2023 and beginning of 2024? What advice will you give yourself as you see yourself today now? What do you need to do more? What do you need to do less? Where you are right now, what is it that needed to be let go of or received to create this 2024? And breathe into that. Yeah. Now you're looking at yourself at the end of 23, to everything that's been accomplished in the end of 2024. What can you promise to yourself? What can you really stick to? Maybe the promise stopping self-sabotage. Maybe the promise saying yes more. Maybe the promise saying no more. Maybe the promise just getting up at a certain time of the day or going to bed at a certain time of the day. Maybe the promise filtering people who don't want to receive and be where they're at and respect that. What can you promise to yourself? And how can you be disciplined and stop all negotiation with the mind and stick to your promise? What can you promise to yourself? Deep inhale, deep exhale. Deep inhale, deep exhale. One more inhale, one more exhale. Another inhale, another exhale. Slowly, as you're opening your eyes, please move to lying down, transitioning to lying down, to holotropic breath. Be very gentle with yourself, and we're going to go even deeper. The best is the yoga mat. If you have a cushion, it's a cushion. It's a layback chair. It's a layback chair. If it's a bed, it's a bed. Just be comfortable and a little bit more down. Yeah. Hands beside you. And we're breathing into your heart, out of your mouth. Into your heart, out of your mouth. Hands beside you. Not on your heart, just beside you, and relax even more. Into your heart, out of your mouth. Mouth is open. It might get dry a little bit, but that's okay. It will pass soon. Into your heart, out of your mouth. 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 And connect to 2024 and 2023. And breathe into your gut. Breathe into your gut what you think might be standing in the way. Into your heart, out of your mouth. Into your heart, out of your mouth. And whatever stands in the way as you're breathing with your mouth open, or you think it might be standing in the way, communicate with this part. Why is it here? What is it teaching you? What does it want from you? Was everything here to serve you? Everything here to move you to the next level? Everything here to upgrade you? Everything here is for you. And see if you can breathe into this gap and allow it to speak to you. What is it asking of you? What is it truly asking you? Maybe it's resolving your past. Maybe it's being present and being more mindful, doing more meditation, more affirmation, more praying. Maybe it's asking you, create a future. Enough. Let's move on. What's the gap? What's the gap? What is it teaching you? And what do I need? What do I need to move on? And really step into the adult that in you, the God that in you, the creator that in you. If I'm creating this in 2024, what tools do I need? What help do I need? What do I need to ask for more? What do I need to let go? And how do I become a conscious creator? How do I make 2024 work for me and with me? For me and with me. 2024 is here to serve you. 2024 is here to take you to the next level. It's here to upgrade you. It's here for you. 2024 is here for you. Into your heart, out of your mouth. Into your heart, out of your mouth. Into your heart, out of your mouth. And breathe into this promise and to this commitment, a non-negotiable agreement with yourself in 2024. Non-negotiable agreement. This is what discipline is. Well, all negotiations with the mind are deleted. Just press delete and done. All negotiations with the mind are deleted. You made a promise, non-negotiable promise to yourself. Non-negotiable promise to 2024. And it is done. Send. Press the send button to your subconscious, to your mind. It's done. To 2024, it's done. You're committed and it's done. You made your promise. Into your heart, out of your mouth. Because you choose you. You choose you for 2024. You're here for you in 2024. You choose you for 2024. And guess what? 2024 chose you too. 2024 chose you too. Into your heart, out of your mouth. Into your heart, out of your mouth. Into your heart, out of your mouth. You can start closing your mouth. Coming back to today and now. You get to start practicing non-negotiable agreements with yourself. So when you enter 2024, you already know how to do it. And bring movement to your toes, to your fingertips. And slowly bring yourself back to sit it up, back to today and now. And remember, what is your non-negotiable agreement as you're coming up to seated, coming back to vertical? And I invite you to drop it in the chat, seal it. This is my non-negotiable agreement for 2024. This is my non-negotiable agreement. Drop it in the chat. Because you vow to yourself and you vow to all the people that are here. This is my non-negotiable agreement. What did you promise to yourself? What is your non-negotiable agreement for 2024? Drop it in the chat, write it on a piece of paper, make sure you have it. It's non-negotiable. I'll be multimillionaire by 2024. So it is. Yes, Ingrid. Non-negotiable agreement, show up more, stepping up. Yes, Michael. Putting myself out there more. Yes, non-negotiable. Non-negotiable agreement. Write it down on a piece of paper so you remember. And this is your affirmation for 2024. Repeat it to yourself in the morning, in the evening. Improving health and wealth, yes. To accept those from my past, leaving them there to free me, move on, living my life, the path more in 2024. Yes, Zadika. Yes, yes. Those are great agreements. Great agreements, great decisions that you made for yourself. I want to thank to each one of you who showed up here so bravely. And went through this beautiful transformation, and those who are willing and getting into this 2024 with more mindfulness, who are understanding what conscious creation is, those who are taking responsibility for their life. I'm a conscious creator. I can create hell. I can create heaven. Whatever you choose, it's yours. Choose from the menu of life. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Natanya. I didn't know you were here. Great to see you. Yeah. Choose from this menu of life. What do you choose? Choose things that work for you. Tiramisu, yeah, me too. Right, what do I choose? Choose what works for you. That's how you can never go wrong. When you're aware of all of the stages of the child, how we can, the child, the teenager, the adult, and be the adult in your life. Take charge, take action. If it's not working, figure out why not. Happiness, acceptance, 100%. Yes. Is there any other way? Right? Thank you, Nancy. Yeah. Yeah. Time to pick myself up. Yes. Nobody else will. Nobody else will. It's our responsibility to pick ourselves up. Helpless child, it's a trap. Move on. We're not infants anymore. We're full adults, grown adults. Right? Responsibility, accountability. I want to wish you an amazing 2024. And I'm always wishing you to every one of you. So the 2024 will be full of love, light, and most important ingredient, laughter. May you laugh a lot in 2024. Maybe lots of laughter in your life, in your hearts, in everything that you do. Maybe light and easy. And I want to remind you again, if you want to be part of this first 5 or 10 participant who's willing to be courageous enough to go with me on the journey of conscious life navigation, please find me on the Facebook and send me a message, and I will spend 30 minutes with you. And we'll start from there. Happy New Year to you all. Lots of love, lots of light, and lots of laughter.